Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well today. One of the questions that I've gotten a lot recently is, Brett, I've never done any gymnastics, I've never done any acrobatics, I've never done anything like that. How do I start out getting into a handstand? Now, I've posted a lot of videos on different handstand variations we can do and different exercises we can do from it. So let's address this. Now, the first thing about handstands is you want to make sure that you've got a good headstand before you ever move into a handstand. You basically want to move the progression. You want to get A down, move to B, move to C, move to D, move to E. But what happens is a lot of people just want to jump right to K and skip all of the progressions beforehand. If you can't hold a headstand, you probably won't be able to hold a handstand. Keeping that in mind, there's also a couple of things that you can start to do before that to get the strength and the confidence before you go up. One is practicing just being able to be tense in your body, being able to keep a good amount of usable tension, especially through the tummy, through the back, through the arms, even down through pointing your feet so that your legs are engaged. That's going to help you hold the handstand really well. You can start doing stuff, of course, different types of push-ups, different types of pull-ups, recline rows, bent rows with a barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell, stuff like that, bridging, different types of lower back work, whether it's a deadlift, a clean, holding up to different bridges, back extensions, stuff like that, good abdominal work, bench press, overhead press, all of those type of things are all going to help, but really going through the progressions from your headstand up are really going to be what get you there overall. So kind of mix the two together, if that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. One of the great things, though, is to start out with just the basic headstand. And if you have to start it out against the wall, don't worry. Starting out against the wall a lot of times will give a lot of people confidence. They're able to kick up better, they're able to find their balance a little bit better, and then they can progressively move away from the wall. But of course, for the headstand, we want to make sure that our hands are down. We want to make a triangle between our head and our hands. So I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to start to build up a tension in my body. Now, even getting to here, even getting to the tripod and holding is a very good progression to start out with. I'm gripping the ground, making sure that my wrists are strong. And then from there, I'm just going to start to bring everything else up, making sure to keep good tension through the body. As you get good at that, you can start working into kick-ups. You could even work into straddle-ups, and just doing a bunch of different ways of getting up into that headstand. From there, I always think about pushing up slightly also. Gets me used to that strength that's going to be needed to push up. From there, work into a forearm stand. Now, a lot of people don't know a forearm stand. I love forearm stands. I think they look really cool. They're a good party trick to pull out. They also are great transitions to other exercises, and it's a great way to start getting away from the headstand without losing a bunch of the stability. Because once you go from the head, where you have your head and your two hands, to just two hands, that stability is very different. This way you're still on two things, you just have more surface area. So like the name implies, I'm going to have from my fingers all the way down to my elbows in contact with the ground. So basically I'm going to put my hands on the ground, I'm going to push my hands and my wrists into the ground, I'm going to get my tension, and from there I'm going to forearm stand. My head's not touching the ground, it's just my hands and forearms, and it's a fun little movement. So get those two down first. From there you can start working up into the headstand, or into the handstand, excuse me. One thing to remember is there is a difference in both of these, both the headstand and the forearm stand. I'm on bent arms. And there's a difference between bent arm strength and straight arm strength. A good way to look at it is if I do a bent arm lever, and I have my hands on the ground, and I get my bent arm lever going, that's a good example of bent arm strength. Now a plunge or a straight arm lever is a whole different movement. This is done from straight arms, and you'll notice I didn't get the body all the way out. I stayed more in that tuck because that straight arm strength is so much harder than that bent arm strength. So you're going to want to, while you're working on your headstands, while you're working on your forearm stands, work on things that you can do to develop that straight arm strength. That's going to take you a long ways into getting into the handstand itself. From there, start the handstand against the wall. Again, nothing wrong with that. And really think about the kick up into it, kicking slightly over where you think you want to be, and you're going to be able to get there. And what I mean by kicking over where you think you want to be, a lot of times people will get up here and they'll do this. Because they're afraid of falling on their face, they'll just kick up a little bit. And they'll want something back here to catch themselves, and they never actually work on getting up and over to where their balance point will be. And it's not until they start kicking up against the wall that they get to the point where they can actually kick to a balanced position, where they can actually get up there and really start to get a good handstand. So hopefully that all makes sense. Take it, run with it, have fun.